Hey guys, I am here to just chat about a typical day in Manaus. Um, there was only three of us on the ground last year, so it was a pretty small team. We were usually up and at it around 6, getting ready for the day. There was a little workout area that Sarah and I would use. We'd meet for breakfast around 7. Um, and then our driver, same driver, every day would pick us up at the hotel at 7:30. We'd usually kind of leave the mornings to everyone to to themselves. And then once we were waiting for the driver, that's when we would, kind of go over any last bits of information for the day or get pumped up, like doing dances outside of the hotel, getting ready, to get to school. And then our driver would pick us up. It was only about a 15-minute drive to school. Um, the goal was to always arrive by 8, so we typically arrive a little bit early. And the SESI campus at Manaus was all outside, so when we would get there, some of the kids were already waiting, and then we would kind of meet everybody in this outside area and say our bon dias and, get everyone pumped for the day. And then the first 2 hours we would spend with our project-based groups. And then we would have misto kenchis at lunch. And then we would do our leveled groups the last 2 hours. And then usually we would get picked up from the school at 12:30 from our same driver, just depending on how much we checked in with the Brazilian coordinator and if we had to check in with some students after assembly and things. We really utilized the time for the drive home to debrief from the day. It took us a little bit longer, usually because the traffic was a little bit worse in the afternoons to get home, so we would use that 30 minutes or so to talk about how assembly went, how the week is going, how the theme is going, what activities worked well, what didn't work so well, what we could do better the next day, all that good stuff. And then when we got to the hotel, we would typically meet for lunch right away. And after that, we would usually spend a few hours in the afternoon by ourselves or hanging out together, just being silly as a team. And then before dinner, we would meet to plan for the next day. So we would do our planning for the next day, plan for music the next day, any of those logistical things that we would have needed for the next day, and then have dinner together in the hotel, or we would go out in the city and have some dinner. And then a lot of the nights we kind of just actually hung in the lobby or near the lobby bar. We were actually staying in a FIFA hotel, so we got really, really lucky to see a lot of soccer players and meet a few and get to talk to some of the trainers and stuff. So that made our time in the hotel really interesting. So that's kind of how we spent a lot of our free time. But typically in bed around 11 or midnight, and then up ready for the next day. So that was kind of a typical day in Manaus for Sarah, Sandra, and I last year. Thanks for listening. Ciao.